Hello, Bill Riley with Riley Private Client. It's November the 7th, and we're entering the last phase of the last 2 months of the year. And this is usually one of the stronger periods for market returns. Before I get started, I want to talk a little bit about I wonder how many people watched Yellowstone. Came back on the season, and to me, it was a little over the top, but I haven't gotten the figures yet of how many viewers they got. But at my house, we were watching it. Kind of something that I want to talk on today, and the theme of this is going to be inflation may be becoming entrenched. You know, we keep hearing that it's transitory. That word's kind of gone out of phase now. And I'll talk about it more as we go forward in this, but inflation is getting to be a very sticking point, and we are going to have to deal with it. Good news is Friday night, they finally passed the infrastructure bill. We seem to have been able to get most of the information over the weekend on what it is, and I've always been in favor of that. In fact, some of the good old standard stocks like Caterpillar, the steel stocks, anything it takes to build something rallied pretty strong this morning, which is a very good thing. And this is a good bill from everything I see. And this could help us keep the economy moving. However, it will also fuel inflation, because the demands and the shortages will cause that. But that's something we just have to deal with. Now, eventually, inflation will cool, but it may be sticking around for much longer than we think. Here's an interesting note. Elon is going to have to sell some of his stock in Tesla. If he sells the stock, and the way it works is he's got options, so he sells the options to creates ordinary income, and then sells the stock, which creates capital gain. He'll have to write a check for about $15 billion in taxes. $15 billion. I'm sure that the IRS will have him as the poster boy of the year. Bitcoin, I read an article over the weekend. I keep having people ask me about this thing. Dr. Mark Mobius is one of the greatest money managers of our time. He mainly deals in the foreign market, so he's very attuned to this type of thing. He actually lives in Singapore. He had a great comment in a short little piece he put out. He said, Bitcoin is a religion, not an investment. And I got to reading it and thinking about it because it's very philosophical. And really, it kind of is right now. I mean, you know, I keep having calls, can we do this, can we do that? It's very hard to make this an investment yet. It's really like a cult, like a religion. We had a client in last week, and boy, she had studied on it, and she was explaining to us how it worked, and all these wonderful things, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you know, this is really getting out there. And so let's see what happens. But when Dr. Mobius says it's a religion and not an investment, that's kind of serious. Okay, let's go back to our inflation and why we think it may be pretty well entrenched here. Sometimes it takes the fear of inflation to really fuel the fires of inflation. I don't know how many times I'm helping my wife shop at the store now because of her illnesses, but I'll be walking down the aisle and the housewives are there, and I can hear them whispering like, oh my gosh, look at this, you know, bacon prices, milk prices, everything. So when people start fearing things like this, that actually helps entrench it and fuel it, because suddenly they have to learn they have to accept it. I mean, what are you going to do? You've got to buy food. You have to fill up your car. So inflation gets entrenched. Another interesting thought, that if you think about it, in 1970, Dan Ackroyd did a stint on Saturday Night Live talking about Jimmy Carter. Now, during the Jimmy Carter years, that was real inflation, and interest rates were going up tremendously fast because the Fed got behind and had to keep just raising rates every time we turned around. And what was interesting about the skit was that he was playing the role of Jimmy Carter, and one of the little quotes in his speech was that just be happy about it. That it's something we need. It promotes more jobs. Inflation is just part of the economic system. And then we know what happened after Carter, that things got a little rough until the next president came in and straightened it out. Inflation is not fun. Inflation can be detrimental to your portfolio, so you must kind of prepare for it and kind of accept it, but not really accept it that much. I think we need some changes. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is kind of wrap up. I think we're off to the races again, all-time highs, and the last one I did on Dow 36,000. Doing a calculation, we could actually hit 38,000 on the Dow for the end of the year if these things keep going. But that causes me a lot of concern because things are getting overbought again. Valuations are way off. I noticed that Warren Buffett is holding more cash than he has in a long time, although he made tremendous gains in Berkshire Hathaway. But even he has said it's hard to find something to buy because he is the originator of value investing. So when you see the big guns like that starting to raise cash at these parts of the market, you kind of have to listen, you kind of have to watch. So I think we still got some upward mobility to the market. It'll be in certain sectors, especially now with the infrastructure, which really those stocks could afford to go up and not be overvalued. So here we go. We're getting into that time of the year that things get exciting. And I think going forward, if we get the politics kind of straightened out, we get some positive comments, I think we could continue on for what we call the early Santa Claus rally, which is a traditional thing in our business. So thank you very much for listening. Hope you share this with your friends. And if you have any questions, all my information is on this site. Please call me. I'll be happy to review your portfolio, see where you are, because you really need to know how much risk you got in these portfolios right now and adjust it. Well, thank you very much. Bill Riley, signing off.